yarn lovers, it's Gary and I'm coming to you from my living room in Vancouver, Canada. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Friday, November the 6th, 2020, and this is video number 81. So it's been a whole week since I uploaded my last podcast, and I did have a video snippet that I put in on the Hirschner's box that I received called Hanging with My Nomies. Now, it was a promotion to spread the joy of the holidays in amongst the fibre community here on YouTube. Now, I was completely in awe and so honoured, gobsmacked, all of the above, about being included in that promotion piece. So just to let everyone know that really it has been the fibre community who have really helped me, you know, with communicating all of the wisdom and ideas. I would not be here without you guys, and that's the honest truth, because I still don't know much about yarn and I don't know much about knitting and crocheting or hand dyeing. I just dabble in everything. So to be included in such a caliber of people who received that box, I'm just amazed and stupefied, to put it like Harry Potter would. Yeah, I don't know what to say. These are my superheroes. These are my role models, my people that I look up to, my mentors that I, you know, watch to get knowledge from and stuff. So I am completely floored. I don't know how it happened, but I appreciate every part of this journey that we are all traveling together, and the joy that it has brought me has been immense. So thank you so much to all those people who comment, who are supportive, encouraging, and understand that I am still learning. So thank you so much. And to all of the people who commented on the last video about the cotton experiment, I really am just learning exactly at the time that those face cloths that I tried out and sampled and tested, the time it hit the water was pretty much all new to me as well. So I didn't know how that they would react, and so I was giving you my best descript that I was feeling with my hands. So I want to catch up on some of the things that were that happened. I keep looking down because I have them all in front of me, that happened after I switched the camera off as well. So we're going to review some of the drying times, whether they shrank, whether they held their structure okay. So all of that stuff I'm going to revisit. I have some happy mail. I want to catch you up on the mystery box as well from the winner that contacted me, and yes, they verified by changing the little comment that they had, the winning comment. So I knew that I was sending it to the right person, and I've looked at my phone on the tracker and it's arriving today. So I pre-recorded me doing the boxing of the yarn, so I'm gonna wait to hear that it's been opened and received, and then I will air that video perhaps in a couple of days time, so everyone can see what was in the box. And I also want to report that the Hirschner's Hanging with My Nomies recipients also reached out, and I've handed over to Hirschner's the details on where to send those boxes to the winners as well. So congratulations again to those winners. So what else have I got? Oh, I've also cracked open a bin, like a plastic bin that I've got some early works which have led me to here, and I think I opened the box that has mostly shawls, wraps, scarves. So I want to go over some of those things as well. Now, I won't talk about the patterns or the yarn, but I will talk about what if I learned something major, or what I found with each of the makes. It just makes the thing go a little bit quicker, and we're not stuck on one piece too often, because I have the history of all of the makes broken down in videos past. So yeah, let's look at the cotton experiment again. So what we have here is, I will link the pattern down below in the description box to what I followed with this pattern. This was the wash one that I did the experiment. As you can see, it kind of like, it looks great after it dried up. And this was one that did not make the wash, but I did it at the same stitch count, all of the above, so they were identical to begin with. And now I'll put them on top to see whether there was any size change. A very small amount of size change, I would say, but still very much the same. Yeah, when they did get wet, they did reshape and swell a little bit with water, so they did get bigger, I noticed when I was washing them. But when they dried, they shrank back to shape pretty nicely. And this was the Hobby Lobby's 50 acrylic and 50 cotton. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. So yeah, it was good to know that a lot of these sprung back to their original shapes and sizes. And what I noticed with this particular yarn, which was called Denim in Color, was that it dried the quickest. It was a lofty yarn, so lots of those halo fibers that came off the yarn to begin with. And when I hold the ball of yarn in my hand before it's made, it is a light ball of yarn as well. So I don't know how it's made up, whether it's the construct of the yarn, the way it's twisted might be a quite loose and airy, lofty twist. So it does dry quicker. The longest one that took to dry was the rodeo. So the rodeo was made up of 4 strands, I guess, of yarn, cotton yarn, and it took around 6 hours longer to dry. I would say maybe half a day, maybe 6 to 12 hours longer to dry than the Hobby Lobby one, which was the denim in cotton or denim in color. Yeah, so and also the shape retained with that as well. The glue stuck nicely. It hasn't loosened, which is great. Yeah, so those are a little bit of a catch up on the sizing and also the drying time. Now, I also went to a store called the Dollarama here in Canada, but I think in maybe the States they call them the dollar stores. And I purchased some boxes just to finish off the project. And these boxes here with lid were sold for $1.50 and the larger size is $2. So I got 2 sizes in the boxes. And I just want to talk about how you can finish something off and make it look like, you know, it's quite an expensive gift for not that much money at all. So here we go. I've got one here started, and this one could be for 2 people. I've got 2 soap boxes here down on the base of the box, and then this person who gets this side of the box, it could be for a couple or something, will have 3 face cloths, and this one will have 2 face cloths. So I'll just showcase that by wrapping up some of these bits that I have here. I'll put that in there like that. Just fold them up in half. And I'll put another one of these in. Go, fold that one up. So there we go. It's a box ready to be gifted to maybe a couple, or if there are 2 people in the household, they can take the one box. So here's one. I'll start here, just to show you what I put in there. Is a bar of soap in a box. Just put that inside as the bracket, and now I'm going to start my stack of face cloths on this side. Fold this one up, pop that in there. I also did a larger piece as well to add into that space that's above if it's one person, and this is what I am doing with that stitch that I learnt from the tutorial. So that's a hand towel, and I'm going to fold that up in half like that, and then I'm going to roll it so that it fits. That's the roll there, and it fits in that little pocket at the top here. And this will be the box for another person. So I have about, I think, 6 more boxes to go through. It's just a nice way of finishing off the gift, and when you present it, it just makes it look like there's been a lot of thought and perhaps maybe a pretty penny that's been spent on all of the items within the package that you're going to gift. So really like that. It's turned out so lovely. Very clean and fresh way of presenting them. I also saw in the convenience store that they had baskets that you could use, wireframe baskets, or you could use something a bit more durable like a wicker basket. These are just cardboard, so I would advise it not to go into the bathroom, just to kind of like, as the gift is used, that they take out the items so that the boxes don't get wet and soggy. So yeah, it's just finishing it and making it look really presentable. And now for some happy mail. I received this a week ago and I knew it was coming. It came from Emme Phillips. Now, Emme Phillips, I know she comments on all of our YouTube videos, anyway, the ones that I watch, and she's always there encouraging and supporting. So, hi Emme, thanks so much for being a great encourager of us on YouTube in the fibre community. And I cracked open your wonderful gift. I love all of the well thought out gifts and items that you put in there. I love all the post-it note messages that you also included on each individual item. So let's take a look at what Emme has sent. Start with the card first. Nothing special about this card, except the person reading it. Oh, thank you, Emme, that's so sweet. I think you're pretty spectacular yourself. And I won't read her message, only because I'm not sure whether she wanted me to or not, and I can't remember what we had agreed on, so I'll leave that in there for myself. And I do collect all my cards and I display them in my den, which is around the corner here, and I really enjoy the cards, reading them over again when I'm feeling a bit blue or whatever, so they really do pick me up. Thank you for sending and sharing me the thoughts on cards. I also have this postcard here, which I won't read the message because it identifies a little bit about Emme herself, but it's from Minneapolis. Oh, Emme, this is the only candy that remains. So she also sprinkled in these candies and I've been munching on them for the whole week. They're delicious. They have like centers that taste a little bit like peanut butter, and they're covered in some type of caramel. Really delicious. Oh, here's her card here. And I had to laugh at the message on the back there. I won't read it, but we all get that way sometimes too. I hope that you've taken photographs of like the message that you sent, because it feels like when I'm talking about this stuff you might not get it. What else do we have? Oh, we got some lovely tea, and she says it's her favorite tea, and it is got some awesome stickers on there. What kind of tea is her favorite tea? Let's have a look. I can't wait to jump into this tea actually. I'm a big tea drinker as well as coffee. It's black tea and it's called Constant Comment. Our first and most famous blend, flavored with a secret recipe of orange rind and sweet spice. Oh, that's one. And then another one from Constant Comment is black tea. I guess that's just the standard black tea, but I can't wait to get into these. Thank you so much. I also got, I love these. They're super heavy. So they're dead sharp scissors. I like that a lot. And it's, her note here says, because every badass needs some serious yarn cutters. Okay, and it says here, P.S. a tip cover is the leather strap here is for the tip. I love those. I bought some scissors that were already dull at the get-go, so I'm happy that these ones are now going to replace the dull ones. And there's nothing more frustrating than trying to cut yarn several times to hack it through like all the fibers, and those are my existing ones that I'm using, and they were brand new from the store too. We have here, some fun labels as well, some fun project labels. Jessica Carey is one of my faves. So I guess that's the YouTuber that she had purchased her labels from. So there are awesome labels there that have, you better like this. They're kind of a bit sort of spicy, spicy labels, which I like. I like the spiciness of these. I like yarn and I cannot lie is also another tag that you can put on your garments. The other one I can't see, it's sort of like I have to crack open the plastic to read it. But love those, awesome. Okay, I got a little sticker here. Never forget how wildly capable you are. Now that is an awesome message to live by, I think. And, ooh, okay. You know, I don't have many project bags. I'm starting my collection and I absolutely am thrilled to receive this one here. So it is hard to read because it is just a shimmer of a message on there. And so I will read it to you. It says, I rescue yarn. I'm kind of a hero. Love that. And there's like a little sheep here doing a little, what do they call that? It's like a, not a jeté, but when you do a plie or something, it's a ballet move, but I don't know what it is it's doing. My favorite bag designer, Erin Lane Bags, women-owned business, woman-owned business. I love it too. It's a drawstring. Oh, don't break a carry. I like that a lot. It's an awesome bag. Thank you so much. And I also have this here. This year for me has been the year of journaling. I love this yarn project journal. So write it down is the little slogan down here. And this one's called Yarn It, Knitting and Crochet Journal. I love that. So every page is designated to a little bit of a planner where you've got a part there to attach a sample of your picture, talk about the yarn, the dye lot, the amount of yarn used, needles and hooks, gauge, and notes. I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I also got a coloring book, but it's a crochet coloring book. So all of the garments on here are to patterns, I guess, of crochet patterns. So we've got some hats, we've got some fingerless mittens, some coats. Excuse me. Oh, amazing, amazing. I don't know whether you can see that. So it's a coloring book. I like that a lot. Well, there's one sipping a drink of some nature. Oh, it looks delicious. I don't know whether they're all inspired by Christmas, but they have a lot of things in here that are stockings and Christmas trees, kind of centered around Christmas. I love that. Thank you, Emmy. Because some of the time you don't want to feel yarn. Just kidding. Sometimes just color. I like that. Thank you. And it came in this really cool wrapping paper. I liked the wrapping paper. The little doggy's really cute. Thank you so much. That is a delightful, well thought out gift. Thanks, Emmy. And now we'll move on to cracking open the past projects, and let's talk about those. Okay, you want to play dress up with me for a little while? So I've brought the plastic tub up here so you can see as I work through it what we're going to be talking about. So it's a mixture of crochet and knitting. And my first one here, I don't know, I finished this around Christmas time last year. So it's been almost a complete year. And it was the moss stitch, or some people call it the linen stitch. And it is kind of a scarf shawl thing. Am I out of camera? It's kind of better this way because then you can see how it looks. It is on the, I increased on one side till I got to a certain point. So I started off at a tip, and I believe it was this tip here. And I learned how to increase so that I could make it wider and wider and wider as long as as wide as I wanted it, and I ended where that red is there at the bottom. And then I continued, and this was my first make where I used the moss stitch, but also I was learning how to carry color across, so I didn't have to cut so many ends, especially in this part here where it's a lot closer together. I just carried the color across and then continued on with the color when I wanted to make the stripes. So that was something that I learned, and I'll just try it on. It's really bouncy yarn. I'm going to say it's fingering weight yarn, and I believe I held a little bit of fingering weight, and there was another maybe sport weight. So there was a little bit of an issue there of one being a little bit bigger than the other, but it wasn't a serious size concern for me at the time. I was just enjoying the fabric. But look at how it came out. So I love the colors. The colors are awesome. I think these are Gryffindor colors. So yeah, awesome, awesome. And you can wear it many ways. It's just a nice drapey fabric. Next one, another crochet one here. And I followed a pattern to this one. The first one did not have a pattern. This pattern was called the Enjoy the Silence shawl. And I used some of my own hand-dyed yarn for this one. So that was a nice experiment to see how my colors were working up when I crocheted them. And I paired it with a Knit Picks, and I think it was called Confetti, in their sock weight yarn. So another little fun shawl scarf there. I really enjoyed doing. Many ways that you can wear this. You can tie it in a knot. You can enjoy, I guess, letting both of the ends hang without having it wrapped, so it just goes around like the back side of your neck. And the thing that I learned about this one was I carried and alternated the same way that I carried in the last scarf. I carried two colors, but then I carried the colors alternating between each of the double crochets to get the yarns back across to the other side. So that was something new to me. I hadn't done that. And I really liked the way that it was blending the colors between the hand-dyed and between the Knit Picks yarn. Just gives you a little softer break there of the color transition. So I liked learning that and practicing that in my technique as well. Another crochet was this one here. It is a more recent make. I did this, I don't know, maybe about 3 months ago, and I followed a pattern. It's an infinity scarf, another crochet piece, and I will, what was the pattern called? Oh, Muirlands, or Muirlands cow. Really, really nice. I like the yarn as well in this one. Next one is, I had another one of the Enjoy the Silence shawls here, or scarves, and it was in a scarfie that I had over dyed. So another different type of yarn thickness than the sock weight yarn. So this one is more, it's considered a 5-weight yarn, but it's a lighter 5-weight yarn. So I really liked how that worked out as well. It's a little bit more, I'm going to say, rustic looking. So I do like the colors and how the colors turned out with the over dyeing as well. Awesome. Actually, it suits my shirt that I have on today. Put that over there. The next one I have is, let's go with a knit one. Alright, this one here was, I believe, I don't have the pattern for this one in front of me, but I believe it was a drops pattern, and it was called the striping garter stitch, or simple garter stitch scarf. And this one I worked up on a really, really long set of needles, and I think it was the first time that I used a 42-inch circular set of needles, and I had the most on my needles for the very first time. So handling the scarf from the lengthwise was something new to me as well, because normally I do the scarves going back and forth through knitting. And this one worked up the lengthwise and had long periods of long stretches of knitting and changing up the yarn as well. So I did a lot of blending, so that was a new thing for me as well, blending 3 yarns together, I think, and occasionally dropping one, picking up the other one. So I always had 2 in my hand, occasionally I had 1. So I liked working this one up. It was really a neat project. And I put some fringe for the very first time on this one too. Very bouncy, I like that. Awesome. The other one that I did knit-wise was this one here. And I used a sock weight yarn held double, and it was my first yarn that I had purchased from a fiber festival that I went to, and it was a German brand of yarn, hand-dyed yarn, and I just loved the color. It's like I was heavy into a phase called camo chic. It was my camo chic phase, and so I really liked the way that it pulled up into a little bit of a like a camouflage style. Like that a lot. And I was playing around with different stitches here, where some rows were garter, some rows were a long elongated seed stitch, so it's sort of switched out in it with a garter layer as well as doing ribbing. So yeah, I switched it up a lot in this experimental piece. Let's put it on. It's a nice woolen sock weight, carried and held double. I really like this one as well. I think this one's going to come out and be my new favorite for winter this year. I love the color, the green. It's just sort of like, it's very fluorescent. So that's that one. No pattern to this one, just me playing around with stitches. Back to crochet again. What started the Festive Dragon chevron scarf was this whole experiment here, where I was building on my Just Feel Festive shawl, and I changed up the stitch a little bit so that I could add in the ridges that were reversible. So I got it on both sides, but it's not the chevron, it's just in this, on the bias scarf that I crocheted up. So yeah. Really like the colors of this one too. It's more denim-y blues and greens. Green's my favorite color. But yeah, I'm putting this all on right now, but they're not really suiting what I'm wearing. But just to show you the drape as well, fingering weight yarn, and I used sport weight. So fingering and sport weight yarns in this one here. Let's do another knit one. I did the linen stitch in knit. So it's funny that they're 2 of the same stitch names. So you have crochet linen and you have knit linen. So this is what it looks like in knit. I did work this one up in the round, and I here it is here. This one took a lot of time for me because there was a lot of transition of the yarn going from front to back. And I was it front to back? I can't remember whether I have to transition the color. I think it's the color transitions, and that took me a long time. I'm gonna have to redo something in this so that I relearn it again, because it's been a while. And this is in sport weight. So right now I've done really only 2 pieces that have worsted weight, but everything is lighter than worsted weight for the garments that I've just showed you in this tub. Really like that. I think I'm going to say that that's probably one of my favorite ones for the season as well. What have we got here? Oh, another long scarf that I worked up after the black and white one. It's a knitted scarf, and I was learning to do short rows. So that's pivoting the yarn and turning back around before you get to the end. So you can build up different thicknesses of bands, and I was doing that with 3-weight yarn and a 4-weight yarn. Actually, on the edge there's a 4-weight yarn too. So I mixed different weights as well. So really like that one as well. I plan to do a little bit more of that when I have time. Holy smokes. Now this one's a thin one, so it can be wrapped around several times. And I really like this one too. It's got a nice, almost like dash quality to it. Almost like a landscape painting almost. Like when you look at it from a distance, looks like, because of the short rows, you've got some ocean, you've got some sandbanks, you've got some trees across the ocean. Really like that technique. Almost to the end. Going back to crochet, I've got 2 more pieces. So my camera just died and I had to had to clear some room, so I'm going to be really quick with this one. So this was a sock weight one where I over dyed it in a pot of bubbling water to get a overall kind of green teal color through it, and it looks amazing. I can't wait to get stuck into wearing more of these scarves and shawls. Really like those. As you can see, I'm throwing more and more on top of each other. And the last one that I have in here is another crochet pattern, and I got this from Michael's, one of those free patterns that you can pull off their shelves. And this is done in the mandala tweed, and it's just a simple ribbing style through the back loop kind of stitch, and I like the colors of this one as well. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed me cracking open that tub, and I have another 2 tubs of finished works that I'd like to share with you throughout the course of maybe December, and we can start the new year on a fresh, clean slate of new things that I want to make. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please leave me a comment if you like. I love reading them and sharing your thoughts and sharing your wisdom. I appreciate all of that. And I will see you in the next video. Stay safe and enjoy your week. Bye.